is my good friend, Brendan Merriment from Dublin, and he is, of course, my Andy Griffith to my Don Knotts. Bren, how are you today?
I was doing great, Logan, until you butchered my surname. Yeah, it's like, I have the Spirit of Jesus Christ already dwelling within me, so I do not need to go for walks with him. And anyone who says, I wish that I had walked in the earth with Jesus, sorry, but you know what they said at Meeting Your Heroes, people. You only get disappointed.
Have you guys, in the summertime, one of the big things that you see, you're going outside, you're seeing people mow their lawns, you're seeing, it's beautiful days outside, maybe it's a little hot or whatever. As you're going down the road, you see these people who are mowing their lawns, maybe they're riding on a lawnmower, they're older people, sometimes they're younger guys, whatever, and they don't have their shirts on. Like, what is their deal? I don't get it. I don't get what makes you say, hey, I'm outside, I'm now going to take off half of my clothes so that everyone can see.
And when he finally got to Jericho, he looked up and saw old Queen Jezebel sitting high up at a window, having her best interests in mind. He called up to her.
The Lord upholds all who fall and lifts up all who are bowed down.
She laughs at him, saying,
God elevates the humble, but the haughty he brings down.
What's the shortest book in the New Testament?
The shortest book in the New Testament is the book of Jude.
No, it's not. This is according to Google, so I don't know how accurate it is.
The other one's Philemon. Philemon is like a verse shorter, I think.
No, it's neither of those. Should I give you a hint?
What do you mean it's neither
Or
of
should I
those?
give it to Brendan?
You should give it to Brendan, but I don't think this is right.
Okay.
You Google.
Okay, we can fact check this later, but all right, I will Google it. Don't
give it to Brendan. Apparently, those two are wrong. Brendan, what's the answer?
Brendan, do you have a guess?
John 3?
3 John. It's 3 John, isn't it?
No.
It's not 3
Hold on,
John.
I'm fact checking and making sure.
Oh boy.
Because my first guess would have been Philemon.
Okay, all right. So
Make sure
according
you
to
don't
Google, Jude is one of the shortest books of the Bible, but what I read said it was 2 John.
Alright, number 9. This is a juicy, spicy question for the introduction to the video. It's a Christian channel, keep it clean. Logan has a small blankety blank. I said you have a small big toe. You strike me as someone who has, really large feet with tiny toes.
That's not true at all. He's never even seen me in real life. He's just making things up.
True. I have a full life-sized replica, or made a cardboard in a wardrobe of what I think your body looks like proportionally. Why would I just say that?
Anyway, Brendan, give us your offering for what is your dandruff of the...
Well, this time I know I've got a sure winner. This, friends, is a roll of toilet paper. When you go to the bathroom and you wish to use it, for goodness sakes, you have 2 options. There is the fringe, and there is the mullet. If you're in any way educated, for goodness sakes, put it in the toilet roll holder like a fringe. See, it covers your hair. It does not go back like this like a mullet. It goes like this. And it does this. You do not deserve your bachelor of arts degree, your master's, your PhD, or a job. Fringe, not mullet. Not mullet, fringe, deal with it. Boom. Done.
This is slide 12, round 2. Who is this Bible person? So slide 12.
Okay.
So round 2.
We've got a squirt gun with water spraying out of it, so maybe it's a water gun. and
Yeah.
then we've got a guy in the middle with his arm in a sling, and so he's just his arm doesn't work, and then we've got the symbol. Sure, it's either hell or rock on. I don't know. It's index finger and pinky up, and then the rest of your fingers down. Is it Moses?
No. It's David.
Okay, so that's number 3. So he's 3 for 3. Fire.
Fired. As in, like,
Just
you're
fire.
fired.
Fire. No, just fire. Like
Oh,
fire.
Oh, is that like, when you're on fire, you're passionate, you're amazing, you're pulling at all the stops?
Yeah. It means cool.
Or it's like in Chicago,
I think
it's like,
that's generally nobody in Chicago
Too soon,
does
too
that. It's been years.
Pretty sure Portland's still burning.
Years, but
And, okay, this is one sentence. Dia bitch. And the next sentence is, Dia is for a bitch. And if you're feeling really, really cheeky, Dia es for a bitch.
I threw him into a ditch, I threw her into a ditch, and I threw her mom into a ditch.
Hey, what did ditch ever do to you?
And I said we have another guest here as well. It is my other friend, Sam Dry. Sam, how are you today?
Doing good, man.
He's giving us gang signs. I don't know if we want him back, though.
This is the question we've all been waiting for. It's, if you were a dictator of a small country, what crazy dictator thing would you do?
I would erect a marble statue of myself laced in gold and azure blue lapis lazuli, or however that precious stone is named. And I would release an edict that my people would have a king, beautiful and glorious as the dawn, and all would bow. And
So basically, you're Nebuchadnezzar.
basically, I'm Nebuchadnezzar. And the last one means prince, another monarchical one.
So this is literally Brendan's name, but it's in Gaelic / Irish.
It is.
I don't know that I'm gonna get this right. Isn't it?
I actually
Brienne?
gave you the phonetic pronunciation months ago.
You did, and I feel like I remember the first half of it, but I don't know
That
how it
is not the
finishes.
phonetic pronunciation I can do.
I think it's
Well, if you think... Okay, well, if you think the first syllable is green, you don't remember the first half. Brandon. You have no wits about you at all, but you do have beauty. You will probably have rich guys bending over backwards to scoop you up so they can put their arm around your shoulder and put a ring on your finger. And then they will look after you, they will lavish you, they will prosper you, they will take care of you, and you might be as dumb as a jar of sand, but you will still have a roof over your head, food on your belly, and all the good stuff that come with having bagged a rich man. And that's it, Brendan.
And time.
Sees it.
Number 5. Would you rather live as an elf or live as Santa Claus?
Ooh. An elf. Because Santa Claus is obese, and I do not think that I could actually look at myself in the mirror every day, knowing that I was the most famous fat man on earth.
I have no self-respect.
Joined by the Ramses to my Moses, it is Brendan Thomas Merritt. How's it going, Brendan?
I'm not entirely sure why I'm the brother who dies at the end, spoiler alert, but other than me, a bit confusing, mostly good, thanks.
So much for pre-opening. Oh, no way. No way. No way. This, I think it, if it's what I think it is, no way. It's a lightsaber! Yes! So we went up there for a week, and one morning, they took us out on the boat, and they dropped us off at little islands. They weren't really islands; they're more like just little bits of land in the middle of this river. And they left us there and said, "You can do your devotions, you can sit here, you can sleep, you can do whatever you want, but here you go." And the backstory to this is, inside this little area, maybe 2 or 3 miles in Canada, are the only poisonous snakes in the northern hemisphere. And so me, being a person who does not like snakes,
Right.
being put on a random little lake, an island, with what I knew to be possible snakes, I was a little freaked out. And so they were going to leave us there for 30 minutes to an hour. They said they'll start picking us up at 30 minutes because I was one of the last ones, it was going to be probably more like an hour before they picked us up. And so I remember just reading through Romans and going through all of Romans and getting through all the parts of like people walking away from God and how awful they are, and then how we need Jesus Christ and all this stuff. And I was just like blown away.
Super job, by the way. You clearly are experts on the bloodiest, goriest, and most disturbing chapters in the Bible. Speaks what sick individuals you actually are. I have a therapist number I can send you after we hang up the call. However, Katie got 1 extra point than Logan. Katie is today's winner. Logan, go read your Bible. Not only have you failed Bible trivia, but now also this game does not speak very highly of your backward leanings.
Never had this happen, ever, because I've never flown on a plane. So there's your fact of the day about Logan. But anyway, Charles, how about you?
Dude, you've never flown? That is so interesting.
No, never
That
flown.
is so interesting. Well, yeah, I got stopped in security. Wow. That is like, wow. So, like,
Nathan.
you've never been on a plane once?
Not once. Not one time. Well, I've been on the plane.
Never have I
just
ever
haven't
been in a
flown.
plane.
Up until recently, was absolutely chronic for getting lost everywhere I went. I've been lost in Belfast, in Ireland, in Northern Ireland. Literally in streets where one side was pro the Union of Britain, and the other side were pro joining the Republic. That was nasty. I've been lost in more countries than I can count. I've been lost in Dublin, our main city in the Republic. But the first time I ever got lost, I was in Scotland. And now that I see it, it may have possibly been Wales. It was Wales. Scratch that last line, it was Wales. And we were staying in houses and across from house to the park. So my sister and I went to the park one morning. And after, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, she got bored. And was like, I'm going back to the house. And I said, that's okay. I want to play here for another few minutes. But, you know, when you're like 5 and you've got no one to play with, you kind of get a little bit lonely pretty quickly. So I decided to go back to the house. But all of the houses looked exactly the same. And I did not know which one we had actually been staying in.
And next thing, a white man came along, and there was a woman with a very big, some might say overly wide, smile on her face. He asked, "Hi, are you alright?" And I was standing there in floods of tears crying, "No, I don't know where I live." And she said, "That's okay. Come into my white van. I'll help you." And I got in. ... Part 2 may or may not be revealed in a future episode. Logan, what about you?
Is which author is regarded as the best-selling Irish-born author of all time?
This might surprise some people because England has kind of claimed him as their own, but that would actually be C.S. Lewis. He actually created the Chronicles of Narnia in Anagassan, which is a town about 10-15 minute drive from where I live, depending on who's behind the wheel of the car. They've got a beautiful beach, and he created Narnia there.
Interesting. So basically what we're learning here is if you want a story written, you need to be an Irish-born person, because otherwise the stories just won't be as good. I think that's what I'm learning here.
If I may offer the absolute cheekiest and most unscripted of all plugs, guys, I have written a book, and on the very last page of the book, you actually see a photograph of me in Anagassan, where C.S. Lewis created Narnia. I just thought I would have a nice little, please, pretend I'm C.S. Lewis, and rub off his anointing for writing on myself. Shameless plug over. Pretty good job. We got 9 out of 15, spanning a quiz touching on 500 years of history. So, good job.
Not really.
Your citizenship has been
It's
changed.
okay. I don't think so. I don't think 66% lets me stay, but...
That's good. Okay, well, you know what? In that case, your citizenship is still secure in heaven. On that note,
There you go.
thanks, Broski. Yeah, guys, so the first story that I found took place in Alaska. They are knee-deep in snow right now. So 2 men were moving around in a snowmobile, and next thing they saw a moose who was basically trapped underground in ice. And the moose had probably been there for a couple of days and had scratched its back raw, virtually, with all of its failed escape attempts. So the drivers said, here now, we can't just abandon the moose, we have to rescue this animal. So they hopped out and they began creating like an 8-feet trench to try and rescue the moose. And gradually more and more drivers stopped in their cars and their jeeps and vans and got out to help ultimately break the moose free. So often in life, we have pictures in our head of doing the work of the Lord, and we're very focused on the big picture kind of things. But we have to be better, I think, at seeing the opportunities to show the love of God to people and animals in the margins, at our own inconvenience. And sometimes it might look silly or trivial or even a little cheeky, but they showed the heart of God in going that extra mile to help release that animal from its icy cage.
This being Easter Sunday, we will ask Mrs. Lewis to come forward and lay an egg on the altar.
I always knew there was something fishy about that Mrs. Lewis.
Something poultry about her. It's Reverend
Very
Tom's
much so,
chicken.
very much so.
Reverend Tom's chicken, Mrs. Lewis.